guys, it's Areesa. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are making heart-shaped hot chocolate bombs with homemade mini marshmallows for Valentine's Day. So we're gonna make some beautiful pink and gold white chocolate shells in the shape of a heart and fill it with a raspberry white hot chocolate mixture, and we're also gonna make some homemade mini vanilla marshmallows to go inside as well. So the first thing we're going to do is make the chocolate shells. So I'm starting off with this heart-shaped silicone mold. I got it from Amazon, but I'm not gonna link it down below because I honestly didn't really like it. I think you can definitely get a better one. But anyways, then I am taking my favorite luster dusts in pink and gold, and I'm gonna brush that into the mold. I'm gonna start with gold and then slowly ombre my way into pink. I've actually made quite a few videos of chocolate bombs, and you can use any of those designs in this mold as well, so I'm gonna link all of those videos down below for you. But I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I think this is such a beautiful technique. And you'll notice here that I'm doing half of them going from gold to pink and the other half going from pink to gold. And that is so that when we go to close them up, the colors match up. Now that we have our beautiful mold all painted in, we need to melt down some white chocolate and fill the mold with that so we can make the shells. So I'm gonna melt down my white compound chocolate. You can also use a tempered chocolate here, but I know most people are not going to be attempting to temper chocolate. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour the chocolate into my mold and swirl it around nice and evenly, and let all of the excess chocolate drip out onto some parchment paper. And make sure you save that because we are gonna use it again. And then I'm just going to scrape off the top and let it set upside down. So I've got all the chocolate that we spilled out onto the parchment paper, and I'm just gonna add a little bit extra and melt that back down. And then we're gonna go in with a second coat of chocolate. Now you may have noticed that in all my other chocolate bomb videos I only did one coat of chocolate, and I'm doing two here because with this style mold, it honestly could just be the one I have that isn't very good, but I find that the shape of the mold make the shells a lot more prone to cracking when you take them out, so adding that second layer of chocolate definitely helps with that. And look at that beautiful ombre effect. And now I'm just gonna smooth out the edges of half of the shells so they're ready to fill. And I'm using the back of a baking pan and a torch here, but there's a couple other ways you can do that. Those other options are in the videos I have linked down below. Okay, so the shells are ready to go. Now we're gonna work on the fillings, starting with the raspberry white chocolate ganache. So I'm chopping up my white chocolate here, and we're gonna use a 1-to-1 ratio of chocolate and whipping cream. I'm doing 4 ounces of each. And this just starts out as a classic simple ganache. I'm just bringing my cream up to a simmer and then pouring it over my chopped white chocolate. Let it sit for a minute and then stir it all together. And now to make it raspberry flavored, I'm gonna take some freeze-dried raspberries and blend them up in a blender. And then we're going to sift it to get all of the seeds out. You can see there are still quite a few left over, so I'm gonna go ahead and sift it one more time through a really fine sieve. And look at that gorgeous color, you guys. It's gonna give our hot chocolate a beautiful light pink color. Now I'm just gonna dissolve the powder in a little bit of hot water until it's nice and smooth, and we're gonna add in our white chocolate ganache. The amount of raspberry you use is totally up to you. The raspberry is very tart and the white chocolate ganache is very, very sweet. Just adjust based on how sweet you want your drink to be. So this raspberry white chocolate ganache is going to be the base of our hot chocolate. You could totally do this with dark chocolate instead if you prefer, or a combination of dark and white, but I just love the color of the raspberry with the white chocolate, especially for Valentine's Day. But anyways, now let's move on and make some homemade vanilla mini marshmallows to go inside. So I've got my 8-inch square pan and I'm just lining it with parchment paper. And I'm gonna spray it with some nonstick spray and coat it with icing sugar because this marshmallow mixture is very, very sticky. I'm taking 1 package of gelatin and I'm gonna bloom that in 2.5 tablespoons of cold water, give it a stir and then set that aside. Now in a pot, I'm going to take 2/3 of a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, and just about a tablespoon of water. And I'm going to mix that all together and then put it on the stove. Now just keep in mind that boiling sugar can easily burn you, so please be very, very careful when you're doing this. We're going to bring that sugar up to 240 degrees Fahrenheit, and then with your mixer running on low speed, you're going to very slowly and carefully pour that sugar down the side of the mixing bowl. Let it keep whipping until it gets nice and thick and fluffy. It should take around 8 minutes or so. Then I'm adding in a splash of vanilla, pinch of salt, and I'm using some pink gel food coloring here. Now this part is going to get very sticky and there is no way around that. But I greased my spatula and then just spoon that into my baking pan. And then I'm gonna coat the top with a lot of powdered sugar and use a piece of parchment paper to squish it down into the shape I want. And now you're gonna let the marshmallows sit for at least 6 hours or overnight to set up. Now that they are nice and set, I'm going to grease my knife with some vegetable oil and then just cut them up into little pieces. And you can see that beautiful, fluffy, airy texture of the marshmallow. You could also totally use a cookie cutter here instead of just cutting it up with a knife, and that would be super cute as well. And we just made some homemade mini marshmallows. Okay, we have all of our components ready to go. Now let's fill our chocolate bombs. So I have my beautiful chocolate shell here, and I've got my raspberry white chocolate ganache, and I'm gonna pour that inside. I probably used about 2 tablespoons. And then of course, I'm going to add in my mini marshmallows. Then we're going to melt down the top shell just like we did before and place it on top. And look at that beautiful heart-shaped chocolate bomb. Okay, now time for the best part. We're gonna drop it in some warm milk and watch it turn a beautiful, pretty pink. So I've got my warm milk here, and I'm going to take my beautiful chocolate bomb and just drop it right in. And it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but it's turning a beautiful light pastel-y pink. So there we have our beautiful raspberry white hot chocolate bombs that melt down into a super pretty pink hot chocolate, which is perfect for Valentine's Day or anytime you want a pretty pink drink. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or what you want to see next, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.